Hey everybody, I'm Joe.
And I'm Lizzy from Halestorm, and right now, this is Linea Rock.
Hi Lizzy.
Hey.
Hi Joe.
Hello.
Welcome back to Milan and welcome to Linea Rock.
Oh,
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to have you here. We're one of the stations that actually put your music on the most, so
well,
we're very proud of it.
Thank you so much.
That's
Since the beginning, all right. So Vicious, the fourth album, it's out since July. It's a very strong title, I must say, effective, loud title, let's say. How it represents what Halestorm are at in this moment in time, and the cover is very strong too, and curious, you know. Can you tell us more about it?
Absolutely. For me personally, I love words like that, and vicious to me, traditionally, is spoken with negativity, but that is not the case with us. We think that it is a very strong title, and we are taking it in a very positive, fierce way, and that's just kind of how we felt on this record. We're still fighting to prove to ourselves and to the world that we deserve to be here and still rocking, and we've been a band for many years and just kind of found this kind of renewed faith in ourselves and what it is to be Halestorm on this record.
Yeah, man. It's vicious. The idea for me was like big riffs, you know, and things that'll sound good in big rooms, you know, starting to play bigger rooms in the States and in UK, and even over here they're getting bigger, and if you play too fast, you know, it just kind of jumbles up, and you want to be able to use the size of the room to your advantage and make these big vicious riffs.
Right. And also this album was acclaimed, you know, both by the critics and the fans as the holy hard rock trinity of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, which is alive and well, as you state.
That's
and
amazing.
You demonstrate. Do you perceive it the same way?
First and foremost, thank you, because that is probably the biggest compliment, and yeah, I don't know. I think that we've always just done what we do. So
Yeah, and you're right about, you know, I don't know, just
yeah, there's a lot of truth on this record. Traditional, like in our past records, especially lyrically with me, the way I would usually, you know, take a song was it always starts with my truth.
Okay.
And then, like songs like Apocalyptic or I Miss the Misery or even Amen, it starts with my truth, and then I try to make it universal for something for everybody.
Okay.
Whereas on this record, I didn't do that. On this record, I just kept everything as raw and close to my personal story and my truth that I could get. And so for me, this record was a very personal journey. But what's amazing about that is that I think that the best thing that an artist can be is true to themselves, because this is the first record that our fans, I haven't had to explain anything to our fans. They just know what the songs are about, and they grab onto these new songs like their own songs. So it's been absolutely amazing to hear those types of reviews. Yeah.
And especially I was curious, you know, about two songs which were the first and second single, Uncomfortable and Do Not Disturb. And I wanted to ask you, partially maybe you already answered that, but are those messages, which are, you know, two very strong messages, more concerning your mood, or it's more a general feeling, you know, of being uncomfortable and please do not disturb, you know, we're living in a world, you know, where everybody knows everything about everybody because of social networks and everything. You are very exposed. So is this something that starts, you know, from your experience and then is a general feeling, or it's actually only a general feeling?
For me, both of these songs are actually very personal. When I was writing the lyrics for Uncomfortable, I was just kind of, for me, I was fed up with feeling like I had to please everybody.
Okay.
Like I had to make everybody happy and everyone's watching and all of these things. And at one point in time I said, you know what? Fuck it. Literally, that was what I said. And I'm just going to write what I write, and I'm going, and the song came out very autobiographical about that. Like, you know why I did this? Because I wanted to, and because I'm going to, because it makes you feel uncomfortable, and I like that. And it was just kind of, I think it took me writing this song to really own that feeling.
Okay.
You know, and be like, you know what? I'm going to be me no matter what, and if you don't like it, screw it, you know. And then the same thing with Do Not Disturb was based on a true story. I'm very lucky to have the freedom to be myself sexually as well, and so wanted to put that down on paper. And with Do Not Disturb, it's quite literally me reliving those moments of a very fun night that I had a little while ago, and wanted to share that with the fans.
And I love that it makes people uncomfortable, because that first single just sets it up like, you know, you want to talk about sex, you know, it'll make you uncomfortable, and come out with a song about sex, and people are like, oh man, I don't know. Are you uncomfortable?
You recorded in Nashville once again, which is a very hot city nowadays in terms, you know, of studios. It seems everybody wants to record there. Seems it's the next, you know, New York, the next Los Angeles, the next Seattle, the core. Everything is happening there. And usually, you know, it used to be like a town of country music. Now it's more focused on rock. How was the atmosphere for you, and why you actually feel so comfortable recording in Nashville?
Because music is very important there. It's a city that's just as passionate about music as we are personally.
Okay.
Yeah, even no matter the genre, like, you know, there's whole streets that are all studios and publishing houses, and a lot of the core of the business are all located around Music Row there, and they like celebrate when people get number ones, you know, and they put up banners like "Congrats to this songwriter," you know. It's cool. They celebrate success in music, and the whole city celebrates music. Things are shaped like guitars everywhere, and you know. Then country music really brought it up, but the rock and roll scene there is just awesome.
Amazing.
And there's so many just great rock and roll dudes and producers and musicians and people that really live it and believe in it. And you know, we have the whole rock and roll family there, and it, you know, occasionally most of us get home from tour or something at the same time, and we all get together like, I can't believe it, you know, I haven't seen you in like 2 years. What the hell? And we live in the same town, but we're just never there.
This is a city where I've gotten up on stage with Kip Winger and you know, Brad Whitford and Alice Cooper and like all these things, like whenever anyone's in town, and we'll do covers of Judas Priest or something like that. It's like, it's not even for the, so there's such a sense of community, and everybody supports each other. If you're a musician, you're a part of the family, and especially if you're a part of the rock or metal scene in there, you're a part of the family.
So is that the new center in the States for rock music?
I don't know. For us it is, because
we just like it, but don't move there. There's too many people there.
There's a lot of people there. Don't move there.
The producer this time is Nick. I leave the surname to you.
Raskulinecz.
Raskulinecz.
Who worked with the Foo Fighters, Alice in Chains, and Rush, bands that are not directly related to Halestorm. So it's a strange choice. Why him? And was the experience exactly what you needed and expected now?
Exactly what we needed.
Yes. Absolutely.
Nick is the guy. He's you know, there's a reason that all these bands, whatever. Like I remember a few years ago, I was going through a lot of my favorite records, and his name just kept popping up on them.
All right.
Who the hell is this guy? And we ended up meeting him in Nashville because he lives there, and there's a lot of recording there. And Lizzy jammed with him at our buddy's birthday show, did some AC/DC songs, and he likes our band. He's like, yeah, I love you guys. I've seen you live a few times, and And I love him because he's like totally honest with us and always has been, which is one of the reasons why we wanted to work with him. He's like, but you still haven't made the record that I want to hear. I'm like, all right. Cool, actually. I think it's a neat way of saying, like, you know, like, let me know when you want to do this because I know what you need. And we were at a point where we were like, we don't know what to do, we don't know what we need, we know we want to do something that's pushing, but how do you do that? And Nick was like, I gotcha.
Yeah, and it was amazing to go through this process with him because not only is he this renowned rock producer, I mean, everybody, like you said, like Alice in Chains and the Deftones and Stone Sour and Evanescence and all this stuff.
A lot of bands.
Like all of these bands, he's such a rock fan, but he was such a fan of us too.
Okay.
So he could take, like, he took what RJ is, like my drummer.
Yeah. Your brother.
My brother first, drummer second. And he would be like, all right,
Your brummer.
this craziness that I see in you when we play live, I've never heard on a record. So we're going to do that.
Okay.
So you take RJ and you times him times 10.
All right.
And you capture it on tape. And same thing with me, and same thing with Joe, and same thing with Josh. He took what we bring to the table as a 4-piece, as these 4 pillars of Halestorm that have been holding it up for years, and he just accentuated everything and brought the best out of us. So every time that we would say, oh no, that's rocking, right? He's like, oh no, I know you can play faster, I know you can sing higher, I know everything can get crazier, we have to bump it up. And so like
a real motivator.
Oh, absolutely. You should have seen him in the studio. He'll have like a drumstick and he'll just be playing along with all of us. He's like in the room, like literally 2 feet from us, while we were doing anything. And so such a great energy and really, really what we needed.
You stated also that you wanted something new on this album, to make it a little bit unpredictable compared to everything you've done before. Does it mean that maybe you already reached a turning point as a band, and that you need more? You need to make the definitive step at this moment?
Oh yeah, this is like a step, the step that we needed in the right direction, and I think it's just the beginning. It feels like we made our first record finally, like the one that we've been meaning to make and trying to make all these years, and I'm really excited. I'm just really excited about the next record, and like,
where do we go from
we're collecting riffs and already, and like, but I want to take what we did here and like fucking laser in on, zero in on these elements that worked and what we love about it, and just make it big, whatever. We'll figure it out when we get there.
And I think that's just the way we've always been, where it's like we never really look back, and we don't want to repeat ourselves ever.
Right.
And it's always about what's next. Even from when we were little kids starting the band, it's okay. All right, we already played all the coffee houses. How do we get into the bars? All right, let's get in the bars. All right, how do we make a big splash? All right, let's build a rotating upside down drum kit. Cool, that'll get us on the front page of the paper. It's like the same thing, but now we're on a different level. So yeah, it's just for us, as long as we remain excited and ecstatic about what we do, that's how we move things forward.
So it's been 15 years, basically non-stop working and touring for Halestorm. Keeping this routine, is it more, a matter of proving that you deserve actually what you had, or to prove that there's much more to say and do for Halestorm from now on?
I think a little of both, yeah.
Yeah, we kind of realized that, like during some of the U.S. festivals this past spring. We're getting up there, like Carolina Rebellion, we were playing, and we played there. It's probably a 4th or 5th time playing there, and we're not the new band anymore, and we're later up in the bill, and I remember playing like, oh no, like I'm not up here like playing like, hey, look at us, we're playing for the first time, this is what we're like. It's like, no, everyone probably already knows who we are and what we're like out there, and now it's like you're playing to prove that you belong in that slot and you deserve to be there, and to me that means like you got to be better than the last time they saw you, and you have to. We have to. In my, like we always have to be getting better, and we try every show to, get better. And we talk about, there's little things, and we don't use tracks or click tracks or backing tracks. So it really just comes down to the 4 of us, and and you know, how far do we want to take it, and like, I don't know, go as far as audience will let us.
Yes, so far we're still going, so it's like, yeah, we'll see how far we can take it, and that's up to us. So yeah.
Among all the records that you've recorded up to now, which are 4 albums and a ton of EPs, which is the most important for you, your favorite, the one that you consider, you know, a stepping stone for Halestorm? Each one of you maybe have a different one. Which one is it and why?
Honestly, I'm always hoping that it's going to be the next one.
Okay.
But this last one was a huge turning point for us, personally and professionally. And the fact that it's being just reviewed so well and really overwhelmingly positive is such a relief and also a surprise to us, you know, because you know, you never know, like you can be so incredibly in love with something and that doesn't mean the rest of the world is going to love it. But I think this was the next step for us, and hopefully our next record is my next favorite.
That's the idea.
And how do you guys share guitar parts? I mean, you work together on arrangements, or actually it's more natural and it comes? How do you work? Because who's mainly the lead, you know?
We take the parts and we get to know them a little bit, and then, you know, maybe I'll start in on one and she starts in on the other. But so disappointed. No, we work it out in rehearsal, and sometimes the part I record isn't the one I played, she does, or whatever works for the live situation. Because in a live scenario, that's the 4 of us interpreting the recording. You know, we're not trying to make it exactly.
And also, then I'm trying to do 3 things at once and sing and dance around in heels. So sometimes we just like, you know what? Actually, like, my part that I'm doing here, like, I can do your part there, and so we'll end up switching.
You switch, okay.
But he's great because you know, I love having a partner in guitar crimes because, you know, I learned so much from him, and like he started taking lessons again, and so now I'm picking back up. I was like, oh, show me what you learned, you know. And so we're constantly trying to get better. Individually, but also better in our relationship as guitar players, and because, you know, honestly, like when either one of us screws up, you know, you can really hear it. So we have to make sure that we're always like
Do you compose on guitar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Try to.
That's the main instrument for composition for Halestorm?
It depends, because like with me, I play piano as well. So depending on, like, for instance, one of our songs on the record called Heart of Novocaine was originally on piano. Okay. So I wrote it on piano, and then we switched it to guitar. Okay. And then there are some songs that are the opposite of that, where it's like, oh, that would be much better on piano.
All right.
So, but yeah, for the most part, it's guitar.
Yeah, and I mean, I've learned on writing for this record that, like, I try to write with my head, not an instrument. Okay. But you can think better with your brain instead of your fingers.
All right.
So good. And like, you know, to take what you can conceptualize, and then, all right, now on the guitar, what was I thinking? Like, what is that?
We actually, like, and it says this, we write the best riffs and the best songs when it's just like this. You know, like that's how, honestly, and then you figure out.
That's very rock and roll.
And then, and then you figure out how to play it on guitar, because he makes a good point. If you just pick up a guitar, you're just going to go to the things that you know because it's easy. Okay. Whereas if you're thinking with your head, you have to challenge your fingers to do what you thought of. So, yeah.
Well, you know, Paul Stanley composed Love Gun on a flight to Japan on a small recording cassette player back in the 70s. Perfect. So, you know. See?
It works.
It works,
yes. You can do it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually,
that's true.
That should be a t-shirt.
Okay, so having the same lineup since 2004 makes it more a family feeling and easier for you as a band now that you are stable.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Nobody has our history that the 4 of us have, and have seen and done the things we've done together, and, you know, it creates a really solid foundation. And we all love music and love playing, and
we also love each other, which is really like our
time.
biggest accomplishment.
Last night we were laughing so hard, like we were crying. Whatever, you know, we have as much fun as we possibly can out here.
Last night, the guys found a mattress in the top stairs of the venue, and they were riding it down the stairs like a sled. It was so stupid. We're all 15 inside, but
something happens when you join a rock band, and that's kind of where you peak with your maturity. And like, oh, you started the band, that's it, you stall out and just a teenager for the rest of your life.
I think that no matter what, like even if you take away the musicianship, you know, like all of us individually bring something to the table that each one of us can't. So like we're all unique in ourselves, but when we come together, there's a magic that happens that I don't get with any other musicians, I don't get with any other people. And so I think that's a huge part of who we are and a huge part of the reason that we're still together and still here. The four of us know each other better than our families know us. You know? We know all the things, all the secrets, all the darkness.
We know where the bodies are buried.
We know where all the bodies are buried. Yes, and to me that's a huge testament to who we are.
And on tour, usually you stay all together. I mean, you have a bus, you travel together. So
yes.
you, Lizzy, are staying with the guys or with the boys? Or
yes.
Okay, all the time.
I've seen many boxer shorts and many socks, and
she smelled things.
I've smelled things I now cannot unknow. You know, no, it's a trip, man. It really is. And in all honesty, now that we've reached a certain level, there have been some times where we'll come to the venue. And the venue owners or the promoters will be like, "Oh, Lizzy, we got you your own room so that you can like be a girl and do your thing."
Yeah.
And I last maybe 5 minutes. I'm like, I sit there and I'm like, "Well, this is boring. I'll go back with the guys." You know, it's like we like hanging out with each other. We have so much fun. So yeah.
Great. Your albums of cover versions are very popular. Is it more for you a celebration of your wide range of influences, or it's like also a pure exercise, you know, to explore your roots and develop them in your music?
All that.
Both, yeah, absolutely, both of those things.
It's just fun to get to play songs that you grew up like learning or have always loved, and try to figure out your own little twist on it without disrespecting it too much, and we've learned a lot from it. I remember like we did "Slave to the Grind," the Skid Row song, and that we're like, "Oh, wow, we like that feel, man. We got to do a song like that." And so we wrote "Love Bites," you know, and like it helps.
You've done "Heart."
Yeah.
Wow, that one! All I want to do is make love to you. Oh my God, this is
that was my go-to
fantastic version.
Thank you so
fantastic.
much. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's okay. And Lizzy, you are the center of attention in the band. Of course, you know you are actually being considered one of the best female singers out in the last 15 years. Does this put you a bit under pressure? Maybe more now than in the early days when you were starting, and actually when you're in the center of the attention, you also get more comments, critics as well. So how do you live that?
You get a little bit of everything. I number one, with just in personally for me, I don't really preoccupy myself with other people's opinions.
Okay.
Whether they're good or bad, you just kind of say, "Oh, thank you," or whatever, and that's about it.
So you mean you don't go reading stuff also on such?
Of course.
Okay,
I go reading things, and we laugh about them and everything. Especially like some of the weirder and more negative ones. We'll have parties and make fun of the people.
Okay.
Talking shit on us, but it's interesting too, though, because for me, my center of who I am and my opinion of myself is, for me, more important than the opinions of other people about me.
Okay.
So as long as I know that I'm trying to be the best person and the best singer and the best performer and that I want to be inside, then I'm okay. I'm always my biggest critic, and so therefore it's like everybody can think that I'm the greatest, or everyone can think that I'm the worst, and I don't care.
Okay.
But as long as I know that I'm trying my best and I'm doing my thing, then I'm good. But the great thing about having this, I guess, this platform you can, that whereas all of a sudden, just in the past couple of years, I'm in a position where people are listening to what I say, and so I've made a choice to, when I do put myself out there, if I'm saying hello to fans, or if I'm talking on the internet, or if I'm sending a message out into the world, I always want it to be positive.
Okay.
And I want to be a voice for love and equality and ownership of oneself. And I think that I've made that my mission the past couple of years, because there's too much crap in the world, and there's too much negativity, and so if people are going to listen, they're going to get a lot of love from me. So there.
And let's put it like this. I know you took vocal lessons from Steve Whiteman of Kix. After, let's say, quite a while, from those days, because it's been like maybe 20 years ago you've been...
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You've been to vocal lessons. Okay. Can you figure that it taught you everything you needed to know? And now that you have experience, that you've done a lot of things, and you became, as we said, one of the best female vocalists around the world in rock, which would be your main piece of advice to the young Lizzy of the early days?
Oh, my biggest piece of advice to the young Lizzy, to answer the first part of your question, yes. I believe now, after many years of, and I've talked with other vocal coaches and other singers and all of these things, and I've learned a lot of things, but I always come back to the basics. And I think that as a vocalist, something that I can give to other young vocalists is listening to your body, and the simplest exercises are always the best, and it's always the dumb things. It's like, drink water, get sleep, warm up, but don't warm up too much. Like for me, like with my warm-up routine, it's different every day. Like he'll tell you, like if I'm sick and I need more help rattling everything and making sure everything is there, I will take a little bit more time. But if I wake up and I'm like, la, everything's great, I don't warm up as much, because everything is there, and I've been listening to my body for a long time. So yeah, I guess my advice to little Lizzy and all of the youngins is keep it simple, stupid.
All right. Okay. Which is your hero as a vocalist and as a guitarist for you, Joe? The musician that you still look up to as a great example of rocking and rolling.
For me, there was never really one. There was three. There was Ann Wilson from Heart, female vocalist, absolutely hands down. There was Ronnie James Dio and Tom Kiefer from Cinderella. And all three of those people have kind of made me who I am as a vocalist, and then Tom Kiefer definitely made me who I am on guitar.
All right. For you, Joe?
Like coming up, it was like 90s rock that got me into music, and you look at someone like, I remember buying the first Foo Fighters record, and Dave Grohl and his progression and songwriting and like just riff writing in general, like always goes to the right place, that place you want, like yes, that's exactly what I need to hear. And just as a writer, I love that dude, and guitar players are like Jeff Buckley changed my life on music, and he was an insane guitar player. There's stories of him going around New York City, like he played the same at a James song or something in 3 different tunings at 3 different bars and different versions of the song. Like what planet are you coming from?
Total alien.
Yeah, just a player and a singer, and there's been a bunch. Recently, I've been so inspired by there's so many kids I follow on Instagram and guys that I've become friends with, like Jared James Nichols and Tyler Bryant, and these guys that just own the guitar and like are aggressive, like they make it their bitch, they like attack it, and it's refreshing, and I always like have to like think of watching their things like, all right, no, just attack it, don't be scared, you just go for that.
Don't be scared of it.
Yeah, it's fun.
There's a band in Italy, I just heard actually this news, that have done a cover of one of your songs for the X Factor
Oh
TV
yes,
show.
we just saw this
And
video.
actually it climbed back on the charts, you know.
Isn't that
And
amazing?
what do you think, you know, those kind of things? Because it's always, you know, a mixture of good feelings and bad feelings against those kind of programs. What's your feeling? I mean,
It's great. Whatever,
I
you
think
know?
it's awesome. You know, and that particular band, I thought they were great. And like with the backing vocalist and the keyboard player and the lead vocalist had such a growl to her voice.
Yeah.
It's something that I don't always see with young people. Everybody always goes very Ariana Grande,
Right.
and very like, you know, very Disney pop star. And so the fact that she was, speaking of attacking, not afraid of her own voice and just attacking
Yeah.
that song, it made my heart very happy, and I thought it was great. And then the fact that it put our song back in the charts, we just thank you so much to these
Cool.
young people for breathing some life into that song, and they made it their own too. They ended it in a whole different way. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
it's cool.
It's
Like,
amazing.
you can't, whatever, it's just music, and if that's how somebody discovers
Yeah.
your music and they end up liking you, that's all right.
Absolutely.
so that's the proof that, you know, those kind of TV programs are not just enemies sometimes.
No, I think that when we've talked about this a lot with people, that you can't look at these TV programs and think that, oh my God, I'm gonna make it and it's gonna be this amazing career. Like, there's always a catch and there's always things that happen on
Yeah.
these programs. But you know, if you are smart and you use it for what it is, and for me, what I love about it is that you are reaching a whole other audience
Yeah.
that maybe wouldn't have, like just said, discovered your music.
Right.
I think that's a very positive
Yeah.
part of it.
Last question for today. So what's next for Halestorm at the moment? What do you see? You know, how do you see yourself like in 10 months maybe?
Oh yeah, I know. That's about as far as we can look right
We're
now.
booked in the next, till the end of next year already.
We're
so
already booked.
We're just going to be touring.
Touring, lots of festivals this summer. So
All right.
we're doing all of that. We're coming back overseas, so just
We'll be all over the world.
more, and then more after that.
So what's the feeling, you know, when you think about it? You know, now you know that it's gonna be long, and
I
so
can't wait.
how is the feeling? You know, it's like more
We're going to
sometimes.
have a really good time with all our friends, hanging out and
So-
all over the world. It'll be great.
It's gonna be amazing, and you know, you think about it too from like when we all first started. Like, I remember when we had like one gig this month. We have a gig this month. It's so exciting. And now we have all the gigs
Yes.
until the end of time.
We make it
It's
book
just-
better.
Now we have
book
one
less.
gig per day.
I know, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. A dream come true.
Well, yeah. Thanks very much, guys, for your time, and
Thank you.
enjoy Milan and
Thank you.
rock for us tonight. We
Yes.
will be
Yes.
there,
Yes.
front line. Halestorm rocks. Thanks, guys, very
Thank
much.
you to everybody for watching and listening.
Ciao.
Ciao!